Up next on News Channel 13, a Kingsbury man runs into a burning house, and postal carriers spend their Sunday making sure 5 billion letters and parcels get to their destination in time for Christmas. That and more next on Live at 11. A woman dies in a two-car head-on collision along Route 32, but that is not the only accident on that road tonight. A little girl falls off the Golden Gate Bridge, and President Clinton is taking his family to Bosnia. He's also taking Bob Dole. Live at 11 starts now.
From WNYT, Albany, this is News Channel 13, live at 11.
Tonight's top story, tragedy in Waterford. One woman is dead in a three-car accident.
This is News Channel 13, live at 11.
Good evening, I'm Elaine Houston. The head-on collision left one other person injured, and now investigators are trying to figure out what happened. Kumi Tucker joins us now live from the newsroom with the very latest. Kumi.
Elaine, routes 4 and 32 are now open. The accident has been cleared. A Troy woman in her 60s was killed. Police have not yet released her identity. Hospital officials say Corey Bedard, a Waterford dispatcher, is in fair condition at Albany Medical Center. Doctors are testing for a possible head injury. Officials tried to figure out what happened. The accident smashed the front of one car, leaving the hood crumpled. About 100 feet away, another car lay half off the road. Officials say it was a head-on collision. Rescue workers administered advanced life support on the driver of one of the cars. She was later pronounced dead. Another driver was injured.
When we also got to the scene, he found debris and car all over the place. We also found out one of the people that were involved was a member of our agency, a dispatcher.
The dispatcher was taken to Albany Medical Center for treatment. The accident happened shortly after 5 o'clock on routes 4 and 32 in front of Stewart's. The road was closed off for the investigation as officials measured and photographed, trying to piece together the accident. It appears that weather was not a factor.
Most of the ice that's on the road now is a result of some debris that we had to wash down out of the way to get the ambulances in here. But there was not ice on the road at the time, we don't understand.
Police say they're still looking into what caused the accident and that their investigation will continue tomorrow. The driver of a third car in the accident was not seriously injured. Elaine?
Okay, thank you very much. Kumi Tucker reporting live from the newsroom. Another car accident occurred on Route 32 at about the same time tonight. This accident happened as a sharp curve in the town of Northumberland. A couple flipped their car over after taking a tight curve too fast. The woman passenger had to be airlifted to Albany Medical Center with possible back injuries. She is in fair condition. Her driver was taken to Glens Falls Hospital with cuts to his head and a knee injury. Neither person was wearing their seatbelt. A man risked his own life tonight by running into a burning house to check on his neighbors after a fire breaks out in the town of Kingsbury. This is that home on Bond Road where the man ran inside. The neighbors were not at home at the time, and the house suffered heavy damage. Firefighters say the house was fully involved when they arrived, yet they were able to save some Christmas gifts and furnishings. A shooting and a stabbing last night are keeping police in Pittsville very busy. Around 8:30 last night, 2 men were shot outside the Riverview West apartment complex. Police say the wounds are not serious and both men are in good condition. A half hour later, however, another man had to be taken to the hospital after being stabbed in Tucker Park. He was placed in intensive care. Pittsville police say their investigations are ongoing and they are not releasing the names of the victims or saying if they have any suspects. Some terrible news from across the country in San Francisco tonight, where a 2-year-old girl dies after falling from the Golden Gate Bridge. The girl and her family were sightseeing on that famous bridge when the child fell 180 feet into a construction site through a small gap in the protective railing. When paramedics arrived, the toddler was not breathing but had a pulse. The girl was airlifted to Children's Hospital in Oakland, where she was pronounced dead. Tomorrow, President Clinton will be having supper with some of the 8,500 American troops keeping the peace in Bosnia. As Bob Beard reports, the folks around the president's table, however, might ask why they can't be home for the holidays.
It's a family affair. The president, the first lady, daughter Chelsea, always popular with the troops, left the White House, destination Bosnia. The holiday trip just days after a controversial decision to keep U.S. forces there for a long-term stay.
I think the concern is that the seeds of peace have not taken root that are strong enough, at least, in order to sustain the peace without an international force there.
I just believe that compassion begins at home, and that our first obligation is to defend America, and we're not doing a good job of that.
Accompanying the president, former rival Bob Dole, his wife Elizabeth, and more than a dozen members of Congress. The visit will be very quick, just one day, and under very tight security. NATO troops and local police are on alert at his first stop, Sarajevo, where Mr. Clinton will meet with Bosnian leaders and speak to the Bosnian people. Then it's on to the muddy, damaged town of Tuzla. The commander-in-chief will thank U.S. troops, explain his decision to extend their mission, and sit down for a holiday dinner. For most, the visit is a huge morale booster.
Because a lot of times we wonder while we're here in Bosnia if the American people even realize that there are troops here in Bosnia, or if they understand what we're doing here. So it's nice that he can come and visit us and show us his support.
The White House stresses this is also a show of holiday support for all Americans in the military. Bob Beard, NBC News, Washington.
And now let's go to Howard for a first look at your forecast.
Thanks, Elaine. We're starting off quite cold for this time of year, and it's been kind of mild. Let's get right to it. High pressure over the area providing clear skies and calm winds. That will allow temperatures to drop by 7 to 8 a.m. Look for just a few high clouds, 10 degrees. And for the rest of your day tomorrow noontime, we'll see those clouds increase. It'll be around 25. And between 3 and 5 p.m., mostly cloudy skies, 28 degrees. We'll see a few flurries around, and radar starting to show some wintry precipitation coming our way. So we'll be talking about that as well, Elaine.
Okay, thank you, Howard. Well, get something to write on a little later on, live at 11. We will have the rundown of some great places you can go to see the Christmas lights. Plus, we will check in with Santa as he gets ready for the big day. And they're used to deliveries. See how your postal carriers are handling a holiday season without even a Sunday off.
Live, local, late breaking with Elaine Houston, meteorologist Paul Caiano, and Big Board Sports with Rodger Wyland. This is News Channel 13, live at 11. Closed captioning of News Channel 13 is sponsored in part by Pepsi. Check out News Channel 13 online with MSNBC and NBCIN.
It was 9 years ago today that the news came of the terrible explosion that downed Pan Am Flight 103 over Scotland. Those who lost friends and loved ones, including a number of people here in the capital region, still feel that loss. Today, a memorial service was held at the Syracuse University campus. Families and friends of the 35 Syracuse students who were killed in that crash gathered to remember their loved ones. 259 people on board and nearly a dozen people on the ground were killed when a terrorist bomb destroyed the plane. Another memorial service was held at Arlington National Cemetery today as bagpipes played. Families and friends who lost loved ones gathered around a monument to the crash victims. An honor guard and special service followed. The United States government contends 2 Libyan terrorists placed the bomb on that plane, but so far the suspects have not been extradited for a trial. In northern Uganda, villagers are rallying around a 12-year-old boy who lost his legs in a landmine incident. They're helping pay his medical bills, which include a prosthesis. The boy lost his legs after stepping on a landmine while out looking for the body of his father, killed in May by rebels who raided his village. And with just 4 days left before the big day, preparations are underway at the North Pole. Santa and his helpers are putting finishing touches on presents, and he's also surfing the net answering thousands of letters. But this 90s kind of guy will still do things the old-fashioned way and deliver gifts by way of his trusty sleigh and not a jet. Well, they don't have sleighs or reindeer, but you might imagine the holiday season is the busiest time of the year for workers at the U.S. Postal Service. As John Allen tells us, in Schenectady and in communities all over the country, postal carriers are working 7 days a week to make sure those last-minute gifts arrive at their destinations on time.
It's kind of like I'm being Santa Claus for a day.
For U.S. Postal Service carriers like Jim Wallace, time of year means deliveries every day, including Sundays and holidays.
Well, we're delivering express mail, priority packages, and parcel post to our customers in Schenectady. We want to be able to provide that service and get it delivered to them in a timely manner.
And this effort in Schenectady out of the Heritage Station Post Office is being repeated all over the country as carriers work long and hard to move the more than 5 billion cards, letters, and packages that will move through carriers' hands during this holiday season.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you today? There's a package for you.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
No problem.
Many people are still surprised to see the postman on a Sunday, and many are even more surprised to know that certain mail is delivered 365 days a year, and that includes Christmas and New Year's Day. And it's still not too late to get that last-minute present out. The Postal Service says it'll still get there Christmas Day if you mail it express mail as late as Christmas Eve. And while you're mailing that gift, you can even pick up some stocking stuffers.
We have everything from silly putty to picture frames, computer paper, envelopes, ornaments.
And most post offices in the capital region will be open until at least 3 o'clock on Christmas Eve day.
Bringing presents isn't that bad.
In Schenectady, John Allen, News Channel 13.
And we've run into a cold streak. Howard is up next with your first warning forecast. Right now, here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
Weather on News Channel 13 is sponsored by De Beers. A diamond is forever.
And for those dreaming of a white Christmas, Howard just may make your dreams come true. But first, we got to get through some cold weather.
We've got some cold weather outside right now. We'll talk about those dreams coming right up. Right now, 15 degrees outside, clear skies, and the winds are nice and calm. That's what we look for what we call perfect radiational cooling. That's the low also. 15 right now. We made it up to 28 degrees. And the wind, calm, barometer nice and high, 30.45 inches and steady. Let's go ahead and take a look around the rest of the region. 15 here in Albany, 10 in Glens Falls, 12 in Utica, 10 in Watertown, 3 up in Messina. It is chilly. Forget those warm temperatures we had last week. It's nice and cold. Actually colder than it should be for this time of year. Satellite picture is showing a big storm starting to wind up over Missouri right now. Here's a warm front right about here. Precipitation starting to move ahead of it, and let's go ahead and show you what's going on at the surface. There's the warm front here, low, and some mixed precipitation ahead of it. Icy up in the northwest. All that precipitation will be moving our way over the next couple of days. Look towards the west, another storm right on its heels. That'll be moving our way for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'll tell you all about that coming up. Winter storm radar currently shows the rain over the Midwest and the southeastern United States, but that high pressure over the Northeast, that's allowing the cool conditions to come our way, and what we're going to see is some freezing precipitation as it encounters that cold air, and that'll be a problem for us come tomorrow night. We'll tell you all about that. The zoomed-in radar also showing the precipitation clear over here, but look back towards the southwest. We have that mixed precipitation starting to move our way. The high will block it from getting here, but I think during the afternoon tomorrow we'll start to see some flurries and then some wintry precipitation, and I'll tell you all about that coming up in the forecast. Okay, so the forecast for tonight, clear and very cold with those calm winds, clear skies, 4 to 9 degrees above zero. Many spots will be below zero as well during tonight. Tomorrow, some sunshine to start, then increasing clouds, the high 27 to 32. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few snow flurries around during the afternoon. And tomorrow night, look at that. Snow develops, mixes with sleet, 1 to 3 inches possible by morning. We look for the low to drop down to 20 to 25 degrees. And for Tuesday, 34 to 39, snow and sleet will end. And 1 to 3 inches, maybe a little conservative. We'll have to check with Paul early in the morning. 4-day forecast showing that storm coming again Christmas Eve. Probably a mix of precipitation right now, but it looks like it'll change to snow for Christmas Day morning. And you know, we come through here at News Channel 13 to our viewers, so we'll make people happy for sure.
Okay, thanks a lot, Howard. Some scary moments for Ewing.
Scary, and now he's out for the season. Yeah. I mean, terrible news for the Knicks and the fans out there. And we'll update that story. The Knicks without Patrick Ewing for the rest of the season. We'll have more on that. Head coach Paul Ewing joins us live to talk Siena basketball, and the NFL playoff matchups are all set. We'll sort them out for you and tell you whether or not the Jets are in or out. Next on Big Board Sports.
Finally tonight, the East Coast's fastest journalist on skis squared off today at Windham Mountain for the annual Media Day ski event. News Channel 13 photographer Everett McEwen was the fastest of them all. Everett beat all the skiers while riding his snowboard. News Channel 13's Eric Hoppel and Paul Munson won a silver medal in that competition. And for those of you wondering where our own Phil Bailey finished, well, he crashed. I didn't write that. He got up, so we're happy about that. Thanks so much for joining us. Rodger's up next with Big Board Sports. But before we go, we want to leave you with the list of the Christmas lighting displays that you can go and check out. Our viewers say these are the best decorated homes in the capital region. Have a good night.